Hey everybody, welcome back. Now we're going to take a look at graphing perfect competition. So to sort of refresh everyone's memory, let's take a look again at profit. Again, we know that PI, shorthand for profit, is total revenue minus total costs. We can work with this equation to tell us exactly how much our profit's going to be, where our area of profit will be, by figuring out that profit, PI, is equal to the difference between price and average total cost times our quantity. So keep that in mind. Let's take a look at a graph. How would that look like? So remember, our area of profit is the difference between price and average total cost times the quantity. So take a look here. Remember, our optimal point of production is where does our marginal cost equal our marginal revenue. So in this instance, right, that's 5 bushels of tomatoes. So we want to produce at 5 bushels of tomatoes. That's our maximizing point, our profit maximization point. So here's where 5 bushels and average total cost meet. Now, notice our minimum average total cost is down here at our break-even price. So our minimum average total cost would be $14 in this example. Just take that and come across here to see. Where our profit maximizing point is $14.40. So this whole area in blue, the difference between price and average total cost at our maximizing point, gives us our boundary of profit. It's everything from $14.40 up to $18. All right, so that is $3.60 times our quantity of 5. Right, that's going to be our maximum area of profit here. So remember, right, that's the formula we want to look at. Difference in price and average total cost times our quantity. So at a market price of 18, here's our area of profit. But what if the price were lower? What if the market price were $10? Well, now notice, right, we're no longer facing a situation of profit. Now we have where we're losing money, right? Again, where's our optimum point of production? Well, in this case, where does marginal cost equal marginal revenue? Marginal cost equals marginal revenue at point A, which is only 3 bushels. So now that we're down here at 3 bushels, well, right, our minimum average total cost, we're barely, right, we're not even covering that. So at $14, again, our break-even price, we can only charge 10, right? We're taking a loss all the way up to $14.67, right? Because here's the, right, the price, the difference between price and average total cost at our maximizing point, right, times our quantity. Now, notice we said that was our profit maximizing point. Well, it might be also a good way to describe it as our loss minimizing point, right? So what's the connection here? The connection is, right, and this is sort of the big picture that I want you guys to be familiar with, is that firms are profitable where the price is greater than the average total cost, right? Firms are profitable where price, their optimizing point, is greater than average total cost. We operate at a loss where our price is less than average total cost. Right here, price is less than ATC, so we're operating at a loss. That's pretty key, right? That's a good shorthand way to remember this. What are we doing at average total cost? So remember, find your break-even point. Where is your minimum cost optimal point of production? Now, in a perfectly competitive firm in the long run, right, we're going to break even. You're going to actually earn 0 profit in the long run. So the question then is, should we operate at a loss, right? We need to look at that question. And the answer there, it depends. It's a maybe. Remember, fixed costs must be paid, right? Whether we're producing 0 units or 100. So we consider those what we sometimes call sunk costs. Okay? Now, in that case, we kind of ignore those, and now we want to focus on the variable costs. So we need to figure out, even if we're going to operate at a loss, should we shut down? So we need what we call the shutdown price. And here's where we make our decision. If we aren't even making enough money at our current price to cover our average variable costs, then we need to shut down. So in other words, if our average variable costs are greater than our price charged, we're not making any sense to be open. We need to shut down. However, we could keep operating, keep producing, even if it's at a loss, as long as our price is greater than average variable cost. So take a look here, right? at our minimum average variable cost. Find the point where our marginal cost meets here, our minimum average variable cost, and you'll get what's known as the shutdown price. Here in this example, our shutdown price is $10, right? So if the price were $10, we would probably say shut it down, we're not making a profit, right? And this applies to different firms in different situations, right? Think about this example of who might shut down. Well, different firms have different variable costs, different fixed costs. King's Dominion, for example, an amusement park, probably has a great deal of fixed costs. They've already built the rides. They've already installed the roller coasters, the tower, the drop tower, whatever they call that, the water park. All those are pretty much sunk costs. So they could operate at a loss, but again, they want to make sure that at least covers their price, at least covers their variable costs, what they're paying for labor, things like that, right? Think about a ice cream store. Why might they decide to shut down? Again, they want to at least cover their variable costs. They've already sunk the fixed costs, the refrigerators, the yogurt machines. They want to at least cover their variable costs, their labor, cups, all the things that are dependent on producing yogurt, right? So they're facing a different price situation than King's Dominion. King's Dominion has a lot of sunk fixed costs. These Halloween stores that pop up in the mall every year, the seasonal stores that show up, the calendar store that shows up at the mall right around New Year's, they're much more likely to shut down because they don't have a ton of fixed sunk costs, right? I mean, they're renting a store for a month or two, and right, everything else is a variable cost. So they have, a much different shutdown decision. So think about that shutdown decision, right? What's the shutdown price? As long as you are covering your average variable costs, you should stay open. It's worth it even if you're operating at a bit of a loss. If you're not covering your average variable cost, meaning the price that you charge is less than your average variable cost, it makes no sense. Shut down, you're not making any profit. So I hope this kind of explains a little bit about the shutdown decision and economic profit.